Alright. Hello everyone, it's me, Generic Pie, back with another video for you today. Hope you're all doing really good, wherever you're at. You know, whether you're sitting on the toilet or you're watching this on the commute to work or whatever the hell you're up to. Hope you're doing good. Um, so this is another episode of Peepin Tom Bombadil, between Phlox 2 and Hybrids 93, Return of the numbers following the names. Two great players that I've played before. I think I played both of them in the Hobbit League last year, and now they're both in the same league as me, League Tier 2. And rather fittingly, this is a League Tier 2 match, so I get to look at my future competitors because I'm lazy and I haven't played any League games yet. So, this game has Hybris playing as the Free People and Phlox playing as the Shadow. They playing with 2 tokens. And the Free People starts with Imrahil of Dalamroth and Athelas. And the Shadow starts with Monsters Roused and Black Captain Commands. So I'd say relatively evenly matched cards there. Will the rolls also be evenly matched? No eyes and no eyes rolled. Spicy. And a very well-rounded, if not spectacular, roll for the Free People. Hybris passes. The Shadow musters down Isengard. Hybris passes again. So the decision, ultimately, the big decision I think that the Free People have to make here is how many free movements are they going to get? Personally, I would always be inclined to use a ring and get in the get the free move into Moria, because that's the one move you really don't want to get caught on in the whole game, basically. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. You're not going to give them a minion because they've already got 2 musters. So yeah, that's what I would be doing. Shadow draws a card. They draw into Denethor's Folly. So not the most exciting draw in the world. Start doing typical army movements. I think this is correct, using the Palantir to make the most of Gandhi's ability, draw into Kid and ships. So we're getting all the cards to defend Dol Amroth. The little Isengardian warrior joins his Morian friends. And this army goes up to Morannon, which kind of implies they're probably going Juline, maybe doing the pincery thing. Fellowship moves, 1 free move. Army goes up at here. Second free move. And yes, they are indeed going for the Juline. Token usage. Okay, interesting. So they start getting the elves down. Fair enough. And then we get Saruman and the elves down 2. Okay, so interesting. In this situation, as I've already said, I would have certainly prioritized getting Moria. That's just me. The danger with the Elven thing is it's quite a commitment using a token and a muster. Does put you in a good position next turn. But you might be able to have your cake and eat it. Do you know what I mean? You might be able to do the move into here, see what kind of dice the Shadow gets next turn. You have more information, and then you can decide whether it's worth giving up a token. Whereas I feel like using the ring to get into Moria, like that's always good. Throw in the token to get the elves down at this stage. It's kind, I don't know. It feels a little bit of an overcommitment when you've seen it happen. You know, you just stop rolling musters, or you don't get quite the right number of musters, and then it feels like a waste of a token. And the other flip side is you don't want to give them an early Witch King. So it's a tricky balance. Nazgul Search and Arthorks and Goblin Men for the Shadow. So decent cards. And Path of the Woses and Horn of Gondor. So again, not the best, not the worst. 1 I added. 2 more go in. So lots of eyes now. And this is kind of it. Like now, you're moving against 3 eyes into Moria. When you could have been moving 3 eyes into Dimwell Dale. And that's very different circumstances there. And Hybris gets, yeah, so okay, so you've got some musters, but only the 1 movement. So they pass. Sauron goes to war. Okay, so now use the ring because they want to kill the Gandhi man to try and get the Gandhi man in with the will. Okay, I think that's worth a shot. but then you don't get hit. Ah, so is that a better use of the ring than it would have been in the previous turn? Debatable. Armies move. Another movement. This time they hit. It's a 1 reveal. Gandhi dead for a 1. Second tile is an eye. Okay. So Gandhi dead for 1's not ideal, but the eye is great for the 3 people. Pretty good. They sit this fat army on top of the hobbits. And the fellowship is flipped. And then we combine the 2 armies. So as things stand... Yeah, so... Again, do you want to rush to hide the fellowship there when you've got the 2... Oh, they use a P to hide. Okay. But yeah. It's almost like... You've kind of got the worst of both worlds, whereby there's no guarantee of getting elves in, and you also haven't got the free movement in Moria. So, I mean, to be fair, they did get through Moria anyway. But now it looks iffy as to whether... Well, actually, if you use this to get the... it's tricky, though, yeah. Because if you use this now to get them to war, which means you can definitely muster next turn, you are also... giving them the Witch King now, which you really don't want to do. So that means you can't really... Yeah, so I think this is a smart play, not giving them the Witch King. They have some Goblin Men. That's nice. Full army stack there. And we go into turn number 3. We have Grim Bjorn and Challenge the King. So they got a scout just in time to get this little fella, we'll call him Nigel, to join the elves. And the Balrog of Moria. Okay, so all the kind of cards to kill Lorien. Shadows, the Misty Mountains, a little bit late, but always a good card. Not complaining about that one. 2 wides in the hunt pool, and now we get... okay, yeah. So this is the role that you're dreading, basically, given the early commitment to elves and token usage. Is you really... I mean, getting 3 character dice is never terrible, but it's really not optimal at the moment. This is the turn when you want... a nice will, a couple of musters, and or just even at least 1 muster, because then you're guaranteed at least 1 elite in. Not to get a single muster sucks. Orphos Roads attacked. Scouts away. Good job, Nigel. Lorien put under siege. So like, yeah. That sucks. Elves are at war. Budget moves. Hit on a 6. That's good for blocks, and it's a 3. You have Athelas, so I think you eat it. You definitely eat it. Yep. Woodland Realm is attacked, put under siege. So you could have used another ring to get it. I don't think it's worth it, really. Don't think that's worth it at this point, and you've already given up a ring. Fellowship moves again. They're hit twice. Okay. And it's another 3. So, okay. So what I would have done there is I would have definitely played Athelas. Once you're up to 3, you can, you can't get any more out of Athelas than a 3. So now, because you've hit another 3, you either have to take a random and risk killing Strider and thus losing the impact of Athelas, or you have to eat another 3, which sucks because that gets you really high up. So yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's risky. I've had that happen before when you do get Strider sniped in this situation, and it sucks so much. So I would have 100% used that Palantir to play Athelas earlier, personally. But the little hobbit goes to hang out in Old Forest Road. Lovely. We get the Witch King. Bring fear into the hearts of men and elves all across Middle Earth. Cool if they had that giant green bolt of lightning or whatever it is that comes down in Minas Morgul in the Java. Bit sophisticated for the Java client. I don't expect that. Okay, the Fellowship moves. They are hit. Moving a 3rd time. What else could you? Okay, I think. Yeah, I think might have just played Horn of Gondor there. Horn of Gondor and Athalas. Bit of admin. Um, you've got 2 cards that are worth playing to protect the Fellowship. You've already got 2 moves against. I feel like 3 moves against 2 eyes. Maybe they're thinking I just gotta get this church on the move. But feels especially with the 2 rerolls as well. You're like, there's a decent chance you don't get hit against 2, but when you got the rerolls, no, like yeah, very likely to get hit. But hey, it's a 1 that worked out pretty well. Black out to commands. We go to Lorien. I think that's you really want to take down Lorien this turn before they can draw into path Power 2 Great or Celeborns. I think that's a really smart play. Get it done. Okay, so let's look at the cards. Shadow, what do you play here? Durin's Bane, presumably. Has to be done. Yep, lovely. 2 hits, really good. So Lorien does not look long for this Earth. Phlox gets 2 more hits. So yep, going very nicely, very smoothly. Just the 1 hit back. Press and draw, of course. Draws into a red tile. I think at this point, you probably just... Well, you do have a 5-card hand. So you could just play Devri of Orthanc and just keep cycling. I might be inclined to do that. So then you're not going to be overdrawn next time. Although you do have this Palantir anyway. So you can play Give It To Us. Yeah, so maybe you just don't play a card and just trying to hope that you get a 6 in the next, what? 20 dice, basically. No card, so you don't get one in the first 10. Now you have to kill the other elite. Only 4 rerolls. Okay, so let's say 19 dice. And you do get it. So, not ideal, but makes this army a little bit smaller. But hey, that's gone fantastically well for the Shadow. This army is now big enough to go somewhere else and do some mischief. And they're off to a good start militarily, because the Wooden Realm ain't looking too hot either. And now we play Athalas. A little bit later than I would have liked, but hey, 555s, baby. That is just what the doctor ordered. Red tile goes in, and we go on to turn number 4. So let's see what we get in terms of cards. So Warmest or Toil, Threats and Promises. So we've now got double Devri of Orthanc, but only this army can really do much with it right now. And Warmest or Toil, while there's still a very stacked Fellowship, so that's powerful. Meanwhile, we get Weeper the Swifter and the power of Tommy B. Peepin Tommy B. Okay, and the Fellowship goes this way. Interesting. Okay. Normally, I prefer to go here because typically, if you want to get companions on the board, you want to be closer to Minas Tirith because that's normally where you send them. But maybe they're thinking otherwise. Maybe they, I don't know, where do they want to send companions somewhere, or I don't know. Is that coming into the thinking? Fellowship declares 0 eyes added. And we get... Okay, so this is a nice roll for the... So yeah, saying run, 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 Fellowship. Although you could use this to play something. But either way, you're getting Gandhi, which is great. So they decide not... I mean, they don't have to worry about Day Without Dawns. They can just use the... They can keep the wills until later. The Fellowship moves. They're not hit. Now we get Nazgul Search. Okay. So yeah, maybe the 3 people thinking... You know, they could get into Mordor this turn. You know, do you trade off getting Gandhi to get into Mordor? And the chance you'd stop rolling wills in the future? But you could test the waters and see if you might be able to have your cake and eat it. To have your wizard and eat your wizard. Anyway, so you might be able to get if you get really lucky. Oh, but now we've been Nazgul Search, so yeah, I think that ruins the dream of getting Gandhi and getting into Mordor. So that they hide. Still with the 2 wills. Warmest or Toils put on the board. Now they get Gandalf. So you could have gone for Mordor, but and you know they don't have Cruel Weather at the moment, and they're not really going to draw any cards, are they? So what do you think? What's the right choice there, people? Go for turn 4 Mordor? Gamble on that? I think what I would have done is I would have moved once to see what happens. And if I get revealed, then 100% get Gandhi-Man. If I don't get revealed, I think there is a decent argument for just getting that. Because turn 4 Mordor is very strong. And you've still got Aragorn as well. Sorry, Strider in the pack. Maybe you're going too fast, and then on 4 dice, you're too vulnerable. But you still got 2 rings as well. I think I would have done that. And if you do get the will later, you can always get Gandhi later anyway. But I don't know what's correct. Not sure. Okay, so Shadow goes for Dale here. That's interesting. I can see what they're thinking. They're thinking, uh-oh, if I attack into this army here, I'm going to put the North to war if I take Woodland Realm, if I attack it multiple times, thus allowing Dale to be mustered. However, are the 3 people really going to commit a will, their only die, to mustering in Dale? Is that the best use when they could move the Fellowship and get super close to Mordor? I don't know. And then there's a chance you just wipe out Dale anyway. But I suppose the Shadow's thinking my best route to victory points is to take Erebor. Then maybe they are really worried about Dale because that makes Erebor significantly tougher. So yeah, I can see the logic. And it's gone well for Phlox, to be fair. But the thing is now, yeah, this is it. So now you've taken a hit and you have to move this little orc fella over into Dale. And now this army, it should take this, but now it looks way less guaranteed. If you have one bad round of combat, which happens, suddenly you're like, crap, now I need to reinforce. Whereas with the like, what was it, 11 HP against 4 HP, I think Shadow is like a massive favourite. Anyway, so they've taken Dale though, so that is handy. Okay, Southrons start going down. Pass. Southrons go all the way to war. Pass. Woodland Realm is attacked. What do you play here? Let's have a look at the cards. So we can't play Devilry. Presumably you just play Desperate Battle. That's the one. And then there's 3 people can play probably Advantageous Position. That's the only real decent playable card that you'd want to play in this situation, unless you just lob a Sudden Strike in there for the hell of it. Yep, and that's exactly what happens. So I think that's optimal card play from both players, but good timing for Advantageous. And then Phlox rolls a pile of shit. So yeah, that sucks. Got 1 hit. And then 3 hits back. So yeah, that's kind of like exactly what I was talking about. If you had the extra 2 guys in there, you can absorb this a bit better. But now you're in a situation where this looks far more precarious. So, what do you do? Do you keep just... I probably would... Did they draw into a nice card? They draw into a Shadow's Gather. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So you can't play the Shadow's Gather. You can't play Devilry. You don't really want to play an Onslaught. So maybe you just put this on ice for a while. Come back to it later when you have a better card and do some other, movement. Because you've got to do some movement. These guys are going to get moved. If you want to do something with these guys, you want to move them. You could even, if you want to think about using Shadow's Gather, you can move these guys here to think about Shadow's Gathering directly in here, combining the armies. So there's other things you can do with those dice. Yeah, so that's kind of exactly what I was thinking about. You could potentially Shadow's Gather, doop-a-doop-doop. And now, oh, spicy. Who's going where? Legolas and Gimli heading to the land of the dwarves. That's cool. I like it. How are we looking on HP here? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're kind of net -3. So looking pretty good. Likely gonna end in Mordor above the kind of threshold of pain threshold, if you will. That's kind of the the more normal phrase to use. Anyway, so Shadow starts. Okay, so they decide not to. Yeah, actually, to be fair, you don't really. What else are you going to do with those army movements? You could start marching Lorien. You could start marching these guys down. Where are you going to get your VPs? Where are you going to get your VPs? So this previously would have been kind of an obvious one. Is it anymore? Not looking half as. I mean, if they get like Danes in here, or they have some awkward cards like sudden strikes are suddenly a lot more effective here than they were before. That could be a very difficult nut to crack. And while Dane's still out there, it's quite scary to attack this. And you still got to take down this thing. So, where else can you get your VPs? At the moment, this is the obvious one. And then maybe one of you could try and combine with these guys and take down Minas Tirith. These guys take down the whole of Rohan. So that would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something like that. Or maybe even the 4 cities with Pelegir, so you don't want to get Minas Tirith. Yeah, something like that, I would imagine. Okay, so in terms of cards, we've got Faramir's Rangers and Ents, and the Shadows drawn into. So we've got 2 of the Shadows cards, and Candles of Corpses. Okay, interesting. So some decent cards. I think the Shadows got some very interesting cards here to play with. And so that's the second turn I think Hybris has had where it's just been CCCCP. Not great. I mean, what can you do? You put Horn of Gondor in there. I think that's an easy one. Move twice, maybe move 3 times. Maybe you have to hide. I don't know. And then you can use this to play something like. Well, you could even use this to play Horn of Gondor, or maybe Faramir's Rangers. Something like that. Right. So Fedric moves. They're missed. Shadows Misty Mountains is okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I think there's a really nice play that Phlox can do here because they've just done Shadow Lengthens. No musters. No musters in hand for the shadow for the free people. You can do a big charge into Rivendell with that combo. Shadow Lengthens. No, so Shadows Misty Mountains, Shadow Lengthens, 1, 2, 3. Maybe use 1 extra muster. Get 1 big boy in there just to play it safe. And then go 1, 2, 3, get Rivendell under siege. They can use a ring if they want to, but then they're giving you a ring, which is nice. And if they don't use a ring, it's a very easy stronghold. And so the only thing you're really worried about is them drawing like Kindred or something. But yeah, looks like a very very handy time. I mean, you could also pivot to Isengard, but the fact there's only one, you really want to have at least you either want to have New Powers Rising or you want to muster 2 to 3 times minimum, I'd say. Otherwise, you can open up a can of whoop ass and Rohan on your face, which you don't want to do. So they move twice, and they are in Morannon, but they're not revealed. So there is always here the fear of cruel weather, but you have a token, so you can play around that. So that's why it's so great to have 2 tokens. You can use the muster, and then you can use this kind of less useful to card draw one to dodge cruel weather. So that's great. Goes for a random, which I think is fair enough. I'm surprised though. Here, maybe might want to actually eat that. I don't know. It's risky if you do. Anyway, and it draw Boromir. Okay, so yeah, this is where you wanna. This is why I would have played Horn of Gondor. Now that's useless. And with Horn of Gondor, you wouldn't have even needed to take in a random. You could have just eaten 1, and played the thing, and then you're outside of Morgul Rune territory as well. So it's kind of puts you in a nice spot. But that's life. Cancel Corpses is played. And it's 2 hits, so that is 1 fewer than Athalas did, but still pretty good. Now we play. Yes, man, love it. And that leaves you. For me, I think that gets you a nice spot where you can do 1 muster, and then 1, 2, 3 attacks into Rivendell. I like that. Yeah, cool. Okay, so you're attacking Woodland Realm. Okay, so I don't think that's such an imperative. I don't think you need to do that just yet. I think I would prioritize this because that army should take that down. But if, God forbid, they manage to muster this up, then that army might not be enough, and you don't want to have to use loads of extra dice mustering again. So Phlox does the 2 hits. Well, 2. Could you play a card there as well? No, you can't. Okay, so that's fine. Iris gets 1 back. Press. Can they get a hit? They can. So that's one. Gone pretty well for Phlox. That's pretty cool. Takes down Wooden Realm. Puts them up to 5 VPs. No hits back from Hybris. Is there anything you could play there? Is it really worth it? Probably not. I mean, I suppose you could have played a Shield Wall when it was at 3 and tried to hold a bit longer. But is this army going to be big enough to take Erebor anyway? Not sure. I don't know. Oh, the Gandhi man. Gandhi man's going north, baby. Interesting. So where's he going? Is he going? So he must know they're going for Rivendell. So is he going to go into Rivendell? Is he looking to go to Erebor and just make Erebor untakeable, pretty much? I mean, that would really scare them away from Erebor. But do you need to commit that many into Erebor? So start marching up out here. Okay, cool. Uses a ring to. No, they don't use a ring. They draw Celeborns. Bit late for that. So token yes, moves the army up and moves this army into here. Okay, I thought they'd take the whole lot. Maybe they're not planning to actually attack here. They just want to hold Dale. Wait, you're not moving Gandhi in somewhere? I thought you'd move Gandhi at this point. Now they use the ring to muster. Ah, so they have to. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Did they? I think they might have miscalculated the timing here. Is it because they passed one too many times or something like that? Because obviously they want to muster, but then they also want to get Gandhi. So yeah, I think they slightly mistimed it, the 3 people. Now they get Rindle under siege. Yeah. And then Hybris' Dam. We got to move him before. Yeah, so yeah, you kind of needed to do everything here just one turn, not one turn earlier. Oh yeah, it's because they had to use the token because the token means that you know they don't have cruel weather, but that effectively gives them the initiative back to the shadows. Oh, okay, yeah, so you almost had to anticipate everything and just do it once, little move earlier, and then you could have had everything. You could have got the elite in there, then you could have got Gandhi in there, and then you could have also used your tokens. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Maybe the lesson there is like you're gonna go in once as soon as the dice get even, just play the token, and then you might have still had time then. Not sure. So tricky one. Horde from the east. Oh yes, then they moved the Hobbit into Carrick because I guess they had to do something with that sea die. Don't know what else you could really do with it. Right, so yeah, Horn from the east and Grond, and then we've got Celeborns. Okay, so wait, he needs to draw cards, I think. And they draw there and back again. And oh my god, holy shit! What an amazing draw. So that's potentially huge actually because you'd still hugely favour this army right now. What's that? 10 HP against a 6 HP, but crucially only rolling 3 dice. And that's the key. That's the kicker there. Only rolling 3 dice is such a disadvantage in terms of your capability to hurt the shadow. Whereas if you're rolling on 4, yeah, very different. Wait, what's going on here? Them into Mordor. Okay, they got rid of some cards. Didn't really see what they were. Don't think it's that exciting. And they're into Mordor against 3 eyes. And they get not that much movement. So let's see what happens. Fellowship moves. Another 3. Wow. Hitting all the 3s today. A lot of that's pretty unlucky. Not many reveals, but lots of damage. What do you do here? Do you have time? Do you have time? In this situation, I mean, normally I'm always a huge advocate of just moving the fellowship straight away. I think usually that's the correct decision. When you have kindred, though, there is an argument for just like because in case the shadow doesn't have any character die, so maybe there's an outside chance that they would decide not to use a ring and would. No, they need to move this leadership over here, I think. So okay, so maybe because of that, you decide you can move the fellowship first and then play kindred next round. Oh wow, they eat the 3. That is, I mean, if you kill Aragorn Strider there, you can still move again this turn, and then it gets you closer to Gollum. And there's a lot of, it slows you down in one sense, but it speeds you up in another sense once you get down to Gollum, because then suddenly these tiles are much tastier. So I'm not sure. It's not always a guarantee to kill our Strider for maximum efficiency. I suppose if you do move again and hit an eye, that does get the full wipeout. So if you want to, that's another thing. Do you move twice this turn as well after that? Decisions. But anyways, they eat it. Now Shadow, yeah, as predicted, uses the ring to move leadership here. So obviously they're splitting them a bit. All over the shop. Wow, Nazgul everywhere. Going to Umbar. So they're going threatening Corsairs, which they don't have, but if not, they can march up to Shadowgear. Kindred is played. Pain for Shadow. That's exactly the card you don't want to see. That's really rough. Joins King Brands. Grond is played. All right. Oof. Oof. And then a Grond with this army now. Again, like Grond previously? Good. Lovely. Awesome. Grond now, it's like it's good backfire. It's good backfire. Especially when they've got a shield ball and a daylight and a charge even. I mean, maybe an argument for playing that as well. Oh no, well not with this army actually. You wouldn't want to play it, but Devil of All Thank. They do have 2 Devil of All Thanks. Don't play the Deadly Strife to start with. That's good. I think that's way too risky at this stage. Moonkill ain't doing much. Exciting times are above us. They are indeed. Not for Phlox though. Underwhelming times are above us. Phlox. Hybris gets 1 hit back. Oh, 2. No, 2. Why 2? 1. Yeah, 1. Draws Great Host. Okay. Round 2. Oh, so Hybris was thinking it was a Desperate Battle. Okay. And they decide, okay, interesting. They play the Shield Wall. That makes sense. Great Host? This is only a 7 army against a 4. Even if you need to get like a lot of hits here. Guarantee. Yeah, I would have 100% played the other Devry of Orthanc there, not the Great Host. I think that's, you save the Great Host till a little bit later after you've hopefully done the damage from the Devry of Orthanc, and then you finish off with the Deadly Strife. Or if everything goes great, you save the Deadly Strife for a different battle. So yeah, don't like that Great Host play personally. No hits. So yeah, then the Great Host is wasted, which sucks. Hybris gets 1 hit back. So Hybris isn't doing that many hits back, but it's still really hurting the Shadow. Now we get to round 3. Now we get the Devilry. So I think the Devilry would have got 1 hit last time, which isn't huge, but it's a hit. It is a hit. We get a pre from Sudden Strike, which hits as well. God, this has gone so badly. Okay, now, so that's a nice Devilry though. At least this one's, it has worked out in a sense because you actually got 3 hits there. I think it wouldn't have been that many on the previous roll. So 3 hits from Devilry, that's good. And then Hybris gets 1 hit back. So yeah, that went pretty abysmally for the Shadow. They've only got one guy more than this army, so that is rough. Very unfortunate for them. But that's, I mean, again, I don't think it's going to, but that's why I think I would have invested that one extra elite just as a kind of contingency measure against this, because if that's a 4-2, you just feel a lot better. Because if you can just, with the Deadly Strive with a 4-2, you can get this army down to, let's say, I don't know, just rolling on 2 dice or whatever, then suddenly you feel like you can get over the line. Okay, so they're mustering in Gundabad. They're obviously looking to play Shadows Gather. Okay, that's because there's already 2 guys there. That's quite nice. So you just move them to Matt Graham and go bloop, bloop, bloop. Cool. Dead Man is drawn. Not exactly the card you're looking for, but another Sudden Strike. I guess they can't really muster any more here. Doesn't. You hope that's enough. With a Strife, you're thinking, yes, you're feeling okay about that with a Strife against that. But what does the 3 people got? Do have a Daylight, which they've held on to very patiently. Fellowship moves. It's a 0 reveal. So yeah, this is when okay, so actually no, even if they killed Strider, this would have still revealed them because they wouldn't have done Golem anyway because the Hobbit would have blocked it. But great tile though. I mean, an eye would have been very painful there, and made it a pretty tight finish, or a very risky finish. Okay, now we get the Shadows Gather play, which was coming for a while. This army is back to its original size. Fellowship is flipped, and with the final attack, they go for Rivendell again. There's only 1 card they can play, and there's only 1 card you're realistically going to defend with. Deadly Strife versus Daylight, and oh my god, Phlox! Oh, your dice are not your friends today, man. This is not going well. Eesh. I mean, let's have a look at the rolls here. We can't see this, unfortunately. Meanwhile, we're here. High on Cs, low on musters. Yeah, you kind of feel that. High on movement. So yeah, it feels about right. Found the game's gone. But I'm guessing, at least in the last few turns, Phlox has rolled horribly. Had a pretty decent start, but has rolled abysmally in the last 2 or 3 turns. Hybris only gets 3, so that's actually a blessing. Well, yeah, you'd expect 4 there probably for the 3 people. Yeah, give or take. But yeah, really, really unlucky for Phlox. Only 2 hits on the Deadly Strife. Even with Daylight, you'd hope for 3 when you've got 6 dice. Okay, so they press. That's brave. They must think they haven't got time. What they draw into Olog High. I think I would. I don't think I would press there. I think I'd wait to see what cards I draw next turn, and then you can cycle cards. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel great. Maybe they're thinking, what else can I do with this die? But you can do some admin again. You can move this army up here, move this army out here. There's other things you can do that will set you up for later, and then make this army in a better position. Because if this goes badly with no cards, you're going to have to use another die next turn anyway. 3, no hit this time. Phlox rolls like trash again, and Hybris gets a hit. So yeah, that did not go great. Wait, pressing again? I'm just wondering if Phlox is tilting at this point, because that is some risky play. 4 against the 3. You've got no cards to play. You're not going to play. You can't play We Come to Kill. So no, I think. I mean, I know that. Okay, I guess Phlox is thinking I literally have no choice here. Yeah, okay. They're just thinking I need to throw everything at the wall and hope something sticks because the Fellowship can win next turn. And realistically, where are you going to get your VPs? If they get this, they're up to 7. But still, I mean, again, they're committing a lot of dice to this. It doesn't seem feasible. I think you kind of have to just maybe accept that you're not going to get this over the line this turn. I mean, I guess they're kind of hoping for a miracle. It can happen. Yeah. You got to gamble sometimes. but it didn't feel good. Yeah, bad dice. Rage and Ring Wraiths. Okay, so that'll save you a die at some point, that Wraith probably. And then turn 7, the free people draw the red arrow / scouts and wizard staff. So not hugely useful cards at this stage. You wouldn't think. Maybe, but well, hard to say. Definitely not cards you'd be searching for. Okay, couple of movements for the Fellowship. Not the best roll for the Shadow. Oh, they forgot to get the mouth this last turn. I can't remember if they had any musters or not. I guess they used their muster in Mount Gundabad, didn't they? Did they use a ring last? If they didn't use a ring last turn, I would have used that to get the mouth, I think. At this point, is there an argument for pivoting towards character cards and just trying to? Because I mean, Fellowship's looking. Maybe it's too late. Let's see what happens with their first move this turn. Is an eye. Okay. So that puts them up to. Well, yeah. Oh, wait, they eat it. They want to get optimal Strider. So I guess they're thinking if they move again this turn, then and they hit an eye, then they kill Strider, and then they get full value for it. Okay. The danger is this puts you in awkward territory because now you're within range of a lot of nasty stuff, such as Isildur's Bane. Isildur's Bane. Another, yeah. It's never nice to be this close. But the alternative is either suboptimal. It's either way. It's not brilliant. The Hobbit or Strider, because you're going to go up one anyway. And at least this way you can use one of these to hide. Very tricky one. Yeah. Draws into Cruel Weather, bit late for that, but they are starting to, yeah, they're starting to now fish for cards because when you're that close, yep, Isildur's Bane 2. There's a couple of them in there. That'll do it for you. That'll win you the game. Even just Isildur's Bane 1, the three people in a very awkward spot. Because then they're only, if they get hit by a reveal tile, even if they take corruption, you can kill them with a Morgul wound, you can kill them with a breaking, things like that. So yeah. Now the mouth comes in. 2 minutes Morgul. The Fellowship moves. Oof. Okay, so yeah, they must have been thinking what I was describing and thinking about, if they hit an eye, at least they can just kill everyone quite optimally. Yeah, okay. So okay, not everyone optimally, you just kill Strider. Okay, fair enough. They are revealed. Worms are in toil. Nothing crazy here. You probably prefer to keep the Ents. You lose the Ents. Boo. Playing Olokai with an army die. Does the Shadow have something else they want to use with the... Okay, maybe. Well, okay, I can get it because you want to use Ring Racer Ball with this one. Now, Hybris uses a ring to hide. I think... What's going on? There we go. Gets there in the end. So they hide using that. I quite like that because that means first thing next turn they can move. Depending on the eyes, that might be a high chance of victory. But yeah, I think that's correct. Goes to Rivendell. Cruel Weather, they're cycling cards, good stuff. Again, terrible from Phlox, but they get a hit. Hybris gets 2 back. Just need the 1 more hit. Decides to stop because now they want to keep passing. And okay, they draw into Palantir and they put that on the board, so that's quite nice. You can then use this power to attack again and keep cycling. Yeah, cool. So they purposely didn't press. Well, they probably couldn't press. Anyway, but yeah, I think that makes sense. Cycling as much as possible. And then they can maximize this. Yeah, good stuff. I like this. Good play by Phlox. Attacks Rivendell. Doesn't use a card. And Phlox gets the hit that they need, and Hybrids gets 1 hit back. So finally, after what feels like forever, Rivendell has fallen. And Phlox does get a red tile. Oof, okay, interesting. They use a ring to play that. And they start ridding their forces to take get Helm's Deep buffed up. I feel like there was a window at some point when maybe the Shadow could have done a charge in here. I can't remember. Maybe it never was optimal. Yeah, I think that's correct. You've got 2 rings. You might as well. You can't. You want to improve your odds as much as possible for the first move next turn. They get the eye in there. Draws into Foul Thing from the Deep, which is another Hurt the Fellowship card. Game is very much on. Yeah, I think it is. Turn number 8. Shadow draws into Hill Trolls and Phlox, and then we get Elven Cloaks and Spirit of Mordor. Okay, let's see the rolls. 3 eyes in there. Okay, that's really not what the Fellowship wanted. They would have wanted two eyes. 2 eyes would have made it so you can only 2 tiles stop you. 3 eyes makes it so it's now a coin toss. 1, 2, 3. Well, no, not quite. It's I think it's 4 out of 9. Sorry, 5 out of 9 to win the game. Do you gamble or do you try and increase your odds? The danger is here. Okay, so if you play Elven Cloaks, you improve your odds and you make it 6 out of 10. So 60%, but you give the Shadow the chance to put another red tile in or do something nasty at you. So it's a trade-off. Every time you wait, you're increasing your odds, but then you might lower your odds by even more. And they decide, okay, they don't even play. Okay, that's interesting. I thought they might have just played Elven Cloaks, but instead they actually draw a card, and they draw into a really good one. Because that's, the annoying thing is it's not Golem, because if you could play it straight away, then you'd heal 1 with Golem, and then 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, because then so heal 1 with Golem, take a hit, and then the eyes don't kill you anymore. That would be amazing. Phlox, however, also draws a card, draws into Shelob. Now they played theirs another way. So that would have been a go at the game. But now they get to heal. So now we're up to just 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, so 2 out of 9. Now had the Shelob in there, so it's getting rough. Now we get Elven Cloaks in there. Okay, so they're really trying to put everything in. Use a ring to right, yep. To play Foul Thing. So this could change it all. Right. And draws a 0. Right. So obviously an eye would have been terrible there, but that's not bad at all for the Shadow. I mean, obviously you'd really, really want to get one of the 2s. Shelob could have been pretty great there, actually. But at least it gets one of the good tiles out there. And that's also the only one, the only one that doesn't kill the Hobbit as well. So that's frustrating. It's the only one that actually reveals them. Apart from one of the red tiles. And then they draw into Isildur's Bane. Holy shit. Oh my god. So the Fellowship's flipped. They got no rings left. They can't move again this turn. And then they start doing military stuff in Orthanc. Pass. Start moving these guys down. They're not worried about there's no one in Fangorn. But yeah, the 3 people are in a good position to defend that. And so they think, okay, screw you guys. I'm going to go for Edoras. And they march up also into Osgiliath. Phlox says, I think I have to play now. And then it goes to the Isildur's Bane. Could this be the game? If they hit the 2, it's not game. It's up to 11. The one would hurt a bit. Shelob, I mean, Isildur's into Shelob is like the classic all-time insane combo. I've never seen it happen myself in a game that I've played, but I've seen some crazy Shelob sixes in other people's games. One, not bad. The three, so yeah, let's see what the dice are this turn. If Hybris can roll, I think we're back to square one. I think this is exactly what we were last turn. I think this was here and this was here. Even in terms of the odds, it might be quite similar. It will depend a lot on the eyes rolled here. 2, okay. 2 eyes. So what are the odds now? If the free people just move, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 9. 2/3, 66% chance to win. I think it's probably, given you haven't picked up any good cards, I think it's greedy. I think you just got to go. I think you got to go. Yeah, and that's exactly what Hype's doing, which is, I think, is good. Great game. Well played. And it's the red eye, which does not kill them. It puts them on the brink, but it doesn't kill them. And now, as a free people just playing, please don't have like Morgul Wound. Just please don't have Morgul Wound. And they don't have Morgul Wound, but they can put in yet another red tile. So now the odds are diminishing quickly. Oof. They draw into Wormtongue because obviously they've got Palantir of all things. They're just absolutely ripping through this deck now. Very, very fast speed. This deck has melted in the last few turns because of Palantir. Fellowship hides. The G-Man is in place. Minas Tirith is put under siege. Is military back on the table now? Are you going to force the free people to actually try and move? I mean, if this can take down Minas Tirith, I mean, the only problem is that's not going to take Pelagia. Oh, no, yeah, if you could take Edoras and Minas Tirith this turn, you could force the Fellowship to move in what's quite a tricky pool. Yeah, I think that's what, only 2 tiles, 2 friendly tiles for the Fellowship right now. Okay, Rohan goes down 1. They're trying to be able to muster the Rohan. That's interesting. Why would you do it like that, I wonder? I guess they're all... Maybe they don't want to risk moving the Witch King if this army comes for them. I'm not sure. Moves leadership around. Okay. Don't really know what the thinking is here. Warmest on Toilet is gone. Next Minas Tirith. Let's have a look at the cards. So... Trying to think, what would you play here? It's a free people. It's a shadow. Probably Swarm of Bats, I think. Don't think you've really got the numbers to play Relentless. You can't play Devilry. If you want to cycle character cards, though, if you want to keep cycling character cards, then maybe, yeah, They Are Terrible's really solid here. Alternatively, here, might go with the Heroic Death or an Advantageous. Okay, so Swarm of Bats against Advantageous, that's pretty standard. Steel Rocks is rolling horrendously. 3 hits for Hybris back. Minas Tirith is not going down. Gondor goes to war. Corsairs is drawn about 6 hours too late, but it's a deadly strife. Looks like they are pressing, which is, again, quite aggressive, but they want to try and win the game this turn. They are terrible against charge. Charge is going to be 1. It's another hit. So yeah, the charges and the sudden strikes are pretty good for Hybris this game. Blocks gets 3 hits on the reroll. So that's pretty good. Hybris gets 1 hit back. It looks like it's just going to be... Wow, okay. Interesting. Does make you wonder if they'd left this army here in one big chunk. Would that... And then I don't think... There's a decent chance this can't take it back with that much leadership. And you have, what, 3 off... I don't know. Mustering an Orthanc. Now, so yeah, they have to do this. Charge into Western Mat, yeah. They get 1 hit. Flox gets no hits back. But yeah, but now they can quite comfortably take back Edoras. Whereas if it was 3-1-1 against the 033 with the defensive bonus. I think you fancy the shadow in that situation, and if whatever happens, you can probably get a cheap Helm's Deep afterwards. So yeah, they attack Edoras, no card, no card. Hybris gets a hit. Flox gets one back. They got to press. Oh yeah, okay. So then they. Right, okay, so maybe this is all calculated. So then they do that. Then they. If that was calculated, that's really clever. Because now it's allowed them to sneak a guy back into fold and then using the final die move into Western Met. So that's some like 4D chess stuff, if that's what Flox was thinking, in which case I salute you, Flox number 2. Ingenious. But you think in terms of actually wanting to win the game this turn, probably just plonking a big army in here and then trying to take down Minas Tirith would have been the play. You've got a Deadly Strife. Deadly Strife, well, they didn't know they had a Deadly Strife. But yeah, in terms of actual straight up winning, I think that might be the play. A new turn, a new dawn, a new day. Orc Patrol is on the scene, as is Day Without Dawn. 3 people have got File. Epic game, they say. Yeah, in terms of like, this is like edging. It's just game won't end. It's just sitting on the brink. We're just gonna wait a little bit longer. Just gotta get it just right. And Hybris just shouts epic. Though the chances are clearly with you at the moment, as things stand, with that many eyes. Yeah, they are. Not looking good for the 3 people. They basically need a Bilbo song, or just to chuck in as many, or Mithril. Mithril might do it. Blue tiles are good though. Blue tiles are good. Orc Patrol. They're going to try and get the victory now. Orc Patrol 3 wins the game. Orc Patrol Sheller probably wins the game. Orc Patrol 2 wins the game. There's a lot of, yeah. And it's an eye. So Flox has twice gone for the glory. And this, I mean, I think the broader debate around this whole situation is like, how long do you chance it by just sitting? And I mean, when does staying become a greater gamble than moving? Because you're leaving yourself as a bit of a sitting duck for stuff like that. When you're sitting on 11, like you're so vulnerable to these kind of cards, and there's not many of them left. So you know that they're going to come at some point. But having said that, they're dodging laser beams right now. They keep hitting the eyes. Grey Company's drawn. Mother Sauron is used to march armies around, so they're going to get a cheap Helm's Deep and try and take down. So you'd think they should be able to get to 10 this turn. Oh wait, they haven't got the dice for it. That's so annoying. That is so frustrating. I mean, they could do 2 attacks into here and take down Helm's Deep, but they're not going to be able to take down Minas Tirith as well. That's what happens when you roll that many eyes, I guess. So that's quite unlucky for the Shadow, because if the 3 people, even with the blues are adding, if the 3 people were forced to move this turn because of the military threat, then you'd hugely favour Shadow. But now it gives the 3 people a little window back into the game. Rogue goes in, so that's helping the odds. 40% chance now. Let's have a look at that pool. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that don't kill. Rage of Dunlendings, shenanigans. Oh, so this is it. This is the final move. It's happening, people. Hybris readies the die. The Fellowship take the crucial step. The crack. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's red. I think I did that before, 1x1. And it's a red. It's not meant to be for Flox. They had a 66% chance and then a 40% chance, and they failed on both accounts. The Hobbits do not have the luck on their side today. Sad times. Hobbit high. But a valiant attempt by Hybris. I think I'd have to go over it with a fine-tooth comb to try and figure out what was optimal and what wasn't. But I think, broadly speaking, there might have been some times where maybe you wanted to move, but slightly quicker. But I think the way it worked out justified what hybrids did. I mean, okay, not the actual outcome, but the odds. There were times when, I don't know, they did have to dodge some eyes and stuff. If either of those two eyes from, like, I think it wasn't Isildur's, it was one before that. Foul Thing and something else both hit eyes. That was quite lucky. And I think that's the downside of sitting around and just trying to go, just going to fish for Mithra, I'm going to fish for blues, going to. But equally, if you just move, then you're moving on a 40% chance or 20% chance. Well, anyway, so it's kind of both. It's like two suboptimal options, regardless. So yeah, it's really hard to analyze. But yeah, I thought overall, I thought hybrids did really well to get it. Yeah, and in terms of that, like when you get it to 66% chance, and you don't get that, that's pretty rough. But yeah, I mean, the only other thing I could think of was just like being a little bit more. I think just being a little bit safer with the mustering when they went to Rivendell. I think I would have done that slightly differently. Maybe getting Gandhi in there, just that one turn. I mean, the Kindred of Glorfindel was just hugely important as well. Just that's like a clutch card draw that changed everything that turn. And some of Flox's dice were abysmal. But overall, I think it was well played on both sides. And thanks for sharing, Hybris. Let's have a little look at the stats before we go. Sixes were not popular in this game. Certainly not on the shadow side. In terms of the dice, very heavy on wills and character dice for the free people. That definitely felt like the case. And okay, so the musters caught up by the end, but pretty balanced dice for the shadow overall. All right, cool. Another game, another day. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you around. Love you. Bye bye.